The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coach's Show is brought to you by Carpet Spa Osborne, who would love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. Carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned, online at carpetsbyosborne.com. And as Danny Brewer would say, I'm proud as punch. Something like that. to have Kevin Creasy here, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And Coach, a big win last night, a shutout. I know that's always exciting, and not a long road trip, but one is a pretty tough little place to play at Independence.
Yeah, Independence had a packed house. Student section was definitely loud and proud and making a lot of noise, packed to the gill over there. So real impressed with their fan base and how they support their school, and definitely good to come out with a win, on the road.
It's that having that under your belt, that first win, because I know we're going to talk about this road trip you got coming up. You did have a little bit of a bump with Morris, and tell us a little bit of what you know about that or whatever.
Yeah, don't know a lot. I know he's headed to TOA this morning and got hurt first play of the game, so hope to have him back real soon. Dynamic player, and it's tough when you have a guy like that go down first play. Frustrating, really. We've had such a tough scrimmage schedule with 3 quality opponents and playing the jamboree and all that stuff, and try to take care of him as much as we can. And then it's just part of football. Guy out there blocking and unselfishly blocking, and got a pancake on it. So I told him the good news is he's 1 for 1. He graded out 100%, so he did a really good job on that play. Just unfortunate, somebody rolled up on him, and it happens, and hopefully there's no break or anything like that, no tear, and maybe we can just ice it and get him back here in a few weeks.
And Coach, I think a lot of people don't understand. You've been injured. You've had your share of injuries over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, it hasn't been like an easy road down there to pick up with those wins, but I think every year you've had somebody that didn't start the season, or perhaps was injured and then came back midway. We can name several, I guess.
Yeah, it happens, and like I said, it's a part of football. That's hard for moms sometimes to understand stuff like that, but it's just part of the game. It's one of the toughest part of the games, but like I said, he's made out of the right stuff. He'll rehab well, and in the meantime, we'll let him coach up some of these younger running backs. I think it gives our younger running backs a great opportunity to step up and get some quality reps against quality opponents. And like I said, they'll have to grow up fast.
I want to talk about, this is one of my favorite guys here, and I don't know him personally, but I love Craig Tutt. He had 90 yards and carries, and kind of an unsung hero, I think. I mean, he did a lot of good things last year as well. Had a big game last night.
Yeah, he did.
I call him King Tut, by the way, on the radio.
That's a good little name for him. That guy, he's a dynamic player on defense. Just always making plays on defense, and then important part of our special team. So found out if we give him the football, he makes things happen. A lot of his runs last night, there were not a lot of hoes and not exactly people blocked the way we wanted it, and he made something out of nothing. You know what I mean? So he's that kind of guy. So just all natural, good athlete, super football player.
When you say all natural, that's what I think. It's like he has a radar for the ball. I mean, he just knows where to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he does. And, it's one of those deals where you're like, hey, don't coach that guy. Don't coach that guy too much. Let him just do all this on his own. We don't want to make him think too much and screw him up, overcoach him. He's just got a natural ability to make plays on both sides of the ball.
Kyler Creasy with a good game last night. Had a bomb as well, 7 of 9 for 155 yards. That's more than enough than what you need out of him, really, isn't it?
Yeah, just got the clock running in the second half, and didn't want any more injuries. Believe it or not, we're really thin this year at a couple spots, and so we don't have the depth we normally do. So we were just trying to get out of there, not worried about patting the quarterback stats or anything, just worried about getting out of there safe and not getting anybody else hurt and get on the bus.
Particularly, you don't want him to get hurt because he faced that last year, and that was a kind of a tough year for him, but he rebounded well with a good opener. We can talk about some other guys here. Caleb Ellison, 9 tackles and 1 for a loss, 1.5 for a loss.
Yeah, Caleb's our quarterback on defense, so leading tackler last year, leading tackler last night, and had an excellent game. I think he's got a good core of linebackers around him, so we pretty much played with 3 linebackers, and all 3 of them had a heck of a game. And they had a 6'6" quarterback out there throwing it around a little bit, but running the option. And option responsibility is something you don't get to see every day. I think it's the only option team we'll play this year. So we're real proud of our guys being disciplined and knowing who had what on each play they had.
It's very unusual a lot of times to see shutouts in the first game, and it's also penalties and that kind of thing can always be a problem. Evidently, you didn't have that big of an issue with that last night.
Yeah, we real happy with how we covered our knees up. That seems to be important. Every year, I don't think we had anybody have their knees uncovered or any of that stuff. We didn't have any dress code violations. I think the only sideline warning, I think I got on the field one time to call a play, and it was a warning, luckily not a penalty, or I'd have to roll on the ground after practice Monday. But luckily they're going to forgive me over just a warning. But for the most part, it was a pretty clean game, except we had a couple bad snaps, just cost us in the red zone twice. Just completely over the quarterback's head, and one time we were in the Wildcat and snapped it over his head. But besides the snaps, I think it was a pretty clean game, and like I said, there's a lot to correct from one week to the next, and got a lot of good film to watch and try to get these guys better between week 1 and week 2.
Kyrie Gaynor, I'm running out of time, but 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, a block kick. Part of that defense, that's I kind of call it the Oakland way defensively.
Yeah, that's one thing. Our guys aren't very big, and we'll definitely see that next week. We're facing a team that's big all over the place, but Kyrie's a guy that plays like he's 6'2". Like I said, going in blocking kicks and having 2 interceptions. He's definitely a guy that had a great night. Like I said, there was a bunch of people that showed out proud of the way our defense, got they were backed up in the red zone a couple times and came away with a shutout. And like I said, they have a heck of a kicker. And for us to put pressure on him and to make him miss one and block the other one, that was huge.
And one more, T.T. Hill had a 77-yard TD reception and 29 yards rushing and a touchdown. He's a kind of versatile kind of guy. I mean, he can do a lot of things, can't he?
Yeah, his touchdown run was a tough run. There wasn't a lot of daylight there, and he just lowered his head. And, the very next series, he goes over the top of the defense and catches a bomb. Kyler put a good pass right on the money. So, he's a weapon that we got to get, involved more now that DeJuan may be out a little bit.
And one thing before we talk about Texas, you get a lot of in the last few years, and the clock running, and there's some negatives to that. You don't get a lot of times you don't get some of the players, the regular players, but it does give you an opportunity to get some guys in at running back on the defensive end. Has that helped overall? I mean, in the last 3 to 4 years, I would think it would have to help some.
Yeah, I think so. It's different playing under Friday night lights than it is Monday night lights. JV games are important, but at the end of the day, they're still JV games. So getting out there and, real ball games is important. And we got some guys in the action. And, like last second, we ran out there for a last-second field goal. Everybody may think, why are you running out up 35-0 for a last-second field goal? Well, we got a brand-new kicker. He missed his first one, so we wanted to, see if he could run out there and make his second one. He missed that one. So we've got to get, more real live game action with our field goal guys, and the snap, the hold, the kick, the blocks, all that stuff's important. And one of these days it won't be 35-0. That field goal will be a whole lot more important. So we want to get all our young guys some experience.
And real quick, let's talk about Texas. You already mentioned that they're big, and let's not forget it's a long road travel to get there, and they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they are. Coach Parr, his brother's actually a college coach at Louisiana Tech. Both those guys are well respected all over the country, and Seth Parr's won the state last year and almost won every game since he's been at Anna, Texas, and I think they were 4A state champs last year. They're playing in 5A this year. The quarterback's back. Got some big old linemen, big old defensive linemen. All the things that always give us a little bit of trouble. So, we got our hands full, that's for sure. Not to mention, a 10-hour bus ride, stuff like that. But, that's why you play at Oakland. We play around here, and we play across East Tennessee, West Tennessee, and then, we've played the state champs out of Indianapolis, the state champs out of Mississippi, and now we're playing the state champs out of Texas. I mean, that's good competition. And when they're non-region games, you play good competition. You find out a lot about yourself. And like I said, those guys, they're well coached at every position, and it's exciting to see what all we can learn from this game.
I guess you'll be calling next week.
Yeah. Call me. I'll probably be awake. So just give me a ring, and we'll talk over the phone.
Are you the dean of coaches now? Are you the old? Have you been at Oakland longer than anybody else in Rutherford County now? That just popped in my head. I think you may be.
Coach Williams, I think, at Smyrna.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's
that's
been
right.
there
So
longer.
he's the
Yes,
elder. Okay,
he is.
Well, let him keep that.
That's right.
Coach, appreciate it, and good luck next week.
All right, appreciate it.
And safe travels as well. That's Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family. When we come back, Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks, will be our guest.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice